wonder if I can mute this screen.
I'll let you know.
Oh yeah, I can mute
oh, we're live, buddy. It's just YouTube's on a little bit of a delay.
It is.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well, hey guys. Oh, I gotta mute my YouTube.
It's mute time.
Hey guys, Bear Clooney, Robin C. How's everybody doing? Well, hey guys. AJ, you might want to mute your YouTube.
I did mute my YouTube.
Bear Clooney, Robin C.
Okay.
How's everybody doing? Well, hey guys. I still hear an echo. AJ, you might want to mute your YouTube.
Huh. I did mute my YouTube. I'll close it and see.
Oh no, it was me. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I'm a watch guy, not so much a computer guy.
Tech guy. Come on.
Well, guys, today, I figured you guys love the live stream so much. I'm joined by a very good friend of mine. You guys may know him. He's pretty big in the watch community, online on Facebook, on YouTube, AJ Crete. And today, we're just going to talk random stuff about watches. How you doing, AJ?
I am doing well. Happy Easter to you and everybody out there watching right now. And happy Passover, too. Want to make sure I cover all my bases here. Hopefully I can't talk tonight. Hopefully everyone had a good day.
It's a long one, man. I mean, Easter, we're Italian, so there's a lot of limoncello and like shouting that happens and overeating, but I'm used to it.
Nice. I like the limoncello part. Or is that, am I saying it wrong?
No, you're pretty much spot on.
All right. Excellent.
All right. So, what should we cover? Well, you know what, AJ? You are like one of the biggest serial flippers I know. In fact, we just traded a watch this week, and then you called me to like trade for another watch, and now you actually just got it offered another. Point is, you're absolutely nuts with your collection. And I just wanted to, talk about that. I mean, so what are you getting and what is your plan, right? Because I think you said you were trying to go all Rolex.
Wait, time out. This isn't like a serial flipper intervention, is it? You can get like a bunch of people to like come into the comments and be like, we're here for you, man. We support you. We just want you to be okay, kind of thing.
Just give me those watches, man. I need more watches.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually did a live stream the other day, kind of announcing the end of my serial flipping addiction. And make no mistake, it is an addiction, but it's one of those addictions that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It's not like, smoking meth or anything like that. It's just watches at the end of the day. But the whole point of me doing that video was like when you want to stop doing something, you got to like put it out there into the universe, right? So I get on one of these Facebook groups and I do a live stream and I'm like showing everybody my collection. I'm saying, okay, I have a horrible serial flipping problem I have for some time, right? What I need from you guys is the millennial snowflake that I am. Just validate what I have when I'm showing you right now. And it's like that. I felt horrible and silly asking for it, but like everybody was like, yeah, man, you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to do anything else. And like that made me feel better. But the good thing about serial flipping that I experienced, and I've experienced a ton, is just you get to, I mean, you do get to try so many different things and find out what you like. I mean,
yeah, but we both have a problem. See, your problem is you've been telling everybody via live stream, via Facebook post, that you're going to quit serial flipping. And everybody knows you're full of shit because here you are serial flipping all over again. And I'm the guy who's always like, I'm making my next watch purchase. I've decided what it's going to be. And then I keep changing my mind. Guys, by the way, I'm going to show you my new watch when it arrives next week. I'm not telling you what it is. But I can totally relate is my thing. Like, you're really trying to quit serial flipping. It's never going to happen. Let's face it.
It would be nice if I have the means and the time to continue dedicating to moving my collection around and changing things around so much. But what I've seen from flipping is there's just certain brands, obviously, I've been gravitating to that. You know what? We could get into a deeper discussion about that. Like, is it the name? Or is it really the quality of the materials? Is it the finishing? Is it the movement that I like? And I've experienced so many different brands now. There's still a couple. Zenith is like the most notable one I haven't experienced, and you and I still need to talk about the Defy 21 at some point. But I just found what I like. I did the whole Rolex bell curve, like the Rolex is cool, Rolex is boring, unpredictable, blah blah blah. Back to Rolex is cool now. So I've ridden the roller coaster. I think you're right. I think I will be. Just seeing the way that they have gone with how they're shifting inventory and pulling inventory back, and some of the videos that you put out too, talking about some of the different behind the scenes stuff and the industry. It's helped me learn a lot and kind of help shape my collection. So thank you, Fetty.
Well, thank you, brother. By the way, before the audience flips out at us, let me just give a little shout out. Max Levinson, good to see you, buddy. Kurt Nunn, Steve Bowden, Johnson Pettigrew, welcome. AJ, what are you wearing today? We got to do a wristwatch check, right?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I like to do for my old live streams, if anybody in the Facebook groups like ever saw any of the old live streams we used to do, I like to do what are you wearing and what are you drinking, most importantly. So can I start with the what are you drinking right now?
Please, go right ahead.
This is my other passion, or one of my other passions anyways. High West Double Rye. Cheap bottle of rye whiskey. They're out of Park City, Utah, and they are crushing it right now with everything they're putting out. So double rye. Here's to you, Fetty. You said you had some limoncello there.
Yeah, got my old. Am I allowed to call myself a WAP because I am Italian? Got a little limoncello.
Well, you just did. So I'll get to the porn for everybody watching. This is the only non-Rolex in my collection, although actually I'm lying because I have the SKX too. But this right here is the Panerai that ends all Panerais for me. This is the PAM 118. It is the tobacco brown dial, titanium case, Unitosk movement. About just a little bit over 4,000 of these were made from 2002 to 2003. So it's kind of rare in terms of Panerai, because I understand they make at least like 75 to 85,000 watches per year. So, but it's awesome because it has that tobacco brown dial, but so I don't wear a lot of black, so it really works for me. But still, if you're looking at it from far away, you can kind of tell that it's or you would think it's a black dial, but.
No, for sure. I mean, listen, talking about the only non-Rolex watch in your collection, you just traded me the only other non-Rolex watch for a Rolex watch.
Yeah, I sure did. I'm just stockpiling like a boss is what I said. I mean, you've seen what's happening with them, and you saw what people have been paying for them out there in the market just because of the, what we're talking about with the inventory issues and whatnot. It's crazy. I feel like it's a good time to get in the market on them. Maybe a little bit late, but
Yeah, I'm obviously special occasion, Easter, big Italian tradition. I'm wearing the watch I always wear during these special occasions, my IWC Vintage Engineer Laureus with the blue dial. Absolutely love this piece, as AJ so astutely put it, drinking a limoncello.
Limoncello.
From this very small chilled cup. Kind of tasty. But so listen, you said you only have one non-Rolex in your collection.
Yeah.
You traded me your second non-Rolex, so you are pretty much only down to the Panerai. So what are you doing? Are you only collecting box and papers? Are you only collecting Rolex? Are you trying to get into watch dealing? Like what's up with that?
Complete sets are always appreciated, right? In the case of our trade, what we're doing right now, I'm not getting a full set from you, but in the case of Rolex, I kind of make that exception. Anything else I'm looking at moving forward, I'm probably going to want complete sets. I know it's silly, but there's so many hardcore collectors out there, and I don't have to tell you, Fed, you're dealing with customers every day that demand that probably a lot more than not. So there's been countless videos I've watched on where some of the dealers or experts out there say it really only adds like a couple $100 in value to the model, but it really depends on the age of the model and several other factors too. But yeah, I'm trying to do that. Nothing. It's like movies or music too. Like nothing's like really blown me away in a long time. Like if I see something that completely blows me away, I'll save and I'll do what I need to do to get it, whether it be flipping or trading or whatnot.
So you're not strictly going Rolex, though.
I mean,
that's like a short-term thing.
I think so, because I'm gonna have 5 now when we complete our trade, and the 4 that I currently have right now, I appreciate the hell out of them. So you know, and with the day job and things like that, it's nice to have them to wear, you know, like in the board, or not the boardroom, but in the meeting rooms, and you know, things like that. Yeah, like I'm CEO or a board member of some company or something. But no, I appreciate the obviously the history of the brand, the aesthetics, the finishing, everything I said. So that's what I've been gravitating towards. I had a period of time, I think it was mid last year, late last year, where I was going into some of the smaller brands, the Gerard Perigo. I forget what else. I mean, my experiences with some other brands, I'm like never going back to again, just from a resale perspective. But now that I'm trying to end this whole horrible serial flipping habit, maybe maybe it's going to be contingent upon finding something that blows me away, that I really like will never be able to part with. Like many of you guys that know me know, like the one true keeper in my collection is this guy right here, the Hulk. Like this will be buried with me, and this will be on my wrist in my coffin. And you can take that to the bank.
Fair enough. Well, we got a bunch of new subscribers joining us here. Should probably answer some questions. Oh, there's the Hulk. It just showed up on my screen. We got Clive here. How you doing, Clive? We got Jack Mallinson, Chitterol. Let me answer a couple questions here, Adrian. You can give your kind of 2 cents.
Yeah, man.
Well, Thomas Hennessy says, hey, Federico, I have a question. What are your thoughts on the Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial? I mean, are there any thoughts that can be said about that watch that aren't? It's just a really solid watch. I'm not a big fan of the new wave dial. I think it looks like animal print, but coaxial is super tough. It's got the best bracelet in the business. Omega's Omega. Just don't pay full retail. That's what I think.
I would agree with you. I gotta disagree with you on the bracelet, though. The bracelet seems dated to me. It feels very dated. The Seamaster bracelet, it feels very 90-ish to me. I've only owned a Seamaster for like less than a week. I like the Planet Ocean bracelets and some of the other models too.
Wait, but maybe I should insert a little caveat. When I say best in the business, I don't like the way it looks. I think it does look straight 90s, but I think it is super comfortable and well made.
Okay. Don't you like the glide lock?
I do. I just think the Seamaster is a $4,400 watch retail. The Sub is an $8,500 watch retail, and there's not a double difference there for me.
Okay, so apples and oranges, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do I like a glide lock? Sure. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Hey, Federico. Better. Here's a good one from Tom Ace, who's been watching the show a while. What is the better dive watch value prop, AJ? The Omega Seamaster Coaxial or the Rolex Sub? I mean, it's an age-old question.
God, that's going to be another apples and oranges thing to me, because I was just thinking as you were asking that question, when I think of Omega Seamaster, I think maybe this is wrong and I shouldn't think this way, but I think entry-level luxury watch. I think
here's the thing: you think that way because it used to be true.
Okay.
You know, back when they were ETA-based and back when the Seamaster was a $2,000 watch.
But I'm not necessarily saying that is a bad thing, because you can get a hell of a lot of bang for your buck with, depending on what kind of Omega you're buying, $2,000, $3,000, right? It all goes back to, when you're reading the questions, I was thinking of a question that we hear a lot probably is, what is the best entry-level luxury watch you can buy? Like if they have like a $3,500 budget, you know the answer to this. I hope you do. It's a Speedy. Yes, thank you. We said it at the same time. But that doesn't mean it's a bad watch because it's quote unquote entry level luxury watch. It's a fantastic watch. I've owned like 4 or 5 of them now. It's crazy.
Listen, the Speedmaster is the only watch in my collection, And I'm not counting the Submariner, because I actually won the Submariner in a sales contest. I didn't actually pay for it. But the Speedmaster is the only watch I personally paid for that I'm not going to lose money on.
That's amazing. Really? Have you had that? You've had good experiences then with Breitling or Omega? I mean, sorry, buying and potentially reselling them then? Or?
I got it for a dirt cheap price, and I also happened to get a really rare one without knowing it was really rare at the time. But even my IWC, I mean, listen, I might break even on this. Maybe on my Panerai, I'm losing on all of them. Let's not even talk about my Breitling Chronomat. Actually, my Tourneau, I'll definitely like triple up on that if I ever sell it, but I never will. But yeah, it goes to show that like the Speedmaster is like, in my opinion, is it a boring choice? Occasionally, yes.
Yeah.
But it really, you know, and people hate this expression, but it checks all the boxes, if it makes any sense.
Yeah. What do you want to chat about, like, or what your take is on why some of these brands are just not doing as well as others right now, or is that?
Yeah, I mean,
do you have ideas on that?
Listen, I do, and here's the thing: I think it comes down to just pure marketing in two ways, right? You're a marketer by trade, so I love to be having this conversation with you. Yeah. But either their message doesn't resonate with the public, which I think is partially the problem. But the truth is, and listen, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about this. So I talked about it with Christian last live stream, but the way they advertise is just horrendous. Full page ads in the New York Times, billboards on I-95. I mean, it's like the internet doesn't exist to these people. They just got e-commerce. Like, Rolex doesn't even have e-commerce yet, but brands are just getting e-commerce nowadays. It's kind of nuts.
Well, it's European marketing versus American marketing, and they're two very different things in terms of what works and what doesn't work. But I don't want this to become a marketing strategy live stream. Also, I think there is a question, though. I do want to harp on this for a second too. Back to the inventory issue. I feel like some brands flood the market more so than other brands. And it's not even just a question of how many watches are they capable of making a year, because, you know, going back to the Rolex example, they make what, 1 million watches a year. But the way you see the stock out there in terms of like their availability AD, you would think they're making like 10,000 watches a year or something like that.
I mean, I'll give you a great example of this, right? I mean, everybody in this live stream knew I pretty much used to work for Piaget, right? And I was the head of wholesale for North America. So basically what that is, I was the one responsible for selling watches to the stores, right? And you know the Polo S, AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I left my position at Piaget right before that launch, but I was in the launch team, and I remember when I got my goals for that watch, right? So Switzerland sends me an email like, hey, Federico, these are the new models. They're going to be released at SIHH. This is how many we expect you to sell to stores. And I'm not going to I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's been years. I mean, I'm not going to say what that number was, but like I walked into my boss's office and I'm like, is this a typo? Did you put an extra 0 in the back of this number? like we have 30 stores. How am I going to sell multiple hundreds of these in 12 months?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So like, yeah, what happens is they have these crazy, you know, brands come up with these crazy goals and they don't hit them. And then 4 years later or whatever, they dump their watches for 20 cents on the dollar to gray market dealers, and then gray market dealers mark it up 30%, and there you go, 50% off.
It's a racket, man.
Dude, sorry about that rant, but that's
interesting.
It was bad.
I think this is a lot of the stuff that people watching like to know and hear about you, like, you know, in terms of the history and stuff. They don't, you know, I think people have developed relationship with you over time. You know, they've been watching you for years and years on YouTube now, so it's cool to know some of these things.
Well, it's because these guys are awesome, and I appreciate the support. Ooh, I got a great question here from Lucien Schaller. Hey, Federico, which Calatrava would you recommend as a first Patek? Well, Lucien, the 5119, sorry guys, I don't have access to pictures, but that is the manual one with the hobnail bezel. is the most classic one, but I think it's a little dated. Check out the 5127.
I got nothing on this. I don't know that world.
Fair enough. Steve Bowden, Federico talks Rogers' exaggerated sales projections are on every business. Used to give me serious stress back in the sales day. Yeah, you know what, Steve? I imagine that's true, but I only know the watch world. It certainly gave me many freaking sleepless nights. AC4 says, Glory Hole. Hey, AC4, keep the chat clean or you're out of here. Just speaking the truth.
Well, a lot of people barking away in the chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to see questions here. I mean, I'm here live for the fans. Guys, ask away. But okay, here's a good one. It's a Rolex question, so I'm going to give it to you, AJ.
Oh, boy.
Manny Manster says, Fed, I'm thinking about trading in my ceramic sub, black bezel, and they're any good, so he wants to trade in his ceramic sub, black bezel, for an in-house movement Panerai, and he wants to spend less than $6,000.
Absolutely not going to happen. Not going to happen, and don't do that. Do not do that.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Panerai, obviously, but I'm a fan of their non-in-house movements, personally.
Do you want to elaborate on that? Because I'd love to learn.
Well, yeah, I mean, Panerai, when they first came out and no one wanted them in the US, they were like $1,500. But the whole ethos of Panerai, what made Panerai cool is not the movements. It's the history, the crazy design, and the fact that they're a military watch that's supposed to tell time and be reliable. And that is what a Unitas movement is. With these new fancy schmancy in-house movements, not only are Panerais like $3, $4, $5 more expensive, but you now have a company with no movement building history kind of destroying the ethos of a brand, which is supposed to be a very simple, very rugged, and reliable, but however, as I said, simple watch. And I think in-house kind of just ruins that. They're a brand that shouldn't be doing it, in my humble opinion, but business is business. I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There was a comment in here was asking, is Panerai a fashion watch? And I look at it as more utilitarian, more tool watch related. When they are using the ETA movements or the other, the Unitas movements, there's a Unitas movement in this. I definitely. I don't have an opinion. I know collectors tend to, in the case of something like Tudor and some of the black bays, people always prefer the ETAs over the in-house for some of the reasons that you stated as well. I guess I'm more of an aesthetics guy at the end of the day. I mean, I need to know that it has a reliable engine / movement running in there, but I'm aesthetics driven at the end of the day, more so than the inner workings of it, although I do appreciate the hell out of that too. Love me a good see-through case back, but yeah, no, it's not a defining criteria. It's not the one thing I start with at the end of the day.
And by the way, let me just give a little caveat, because I totally agree with what you said, but actually a good friend of mine, Michael, is in the chat. What's up, Michael Rankins? He said, Fed, I disagree on the comment about the Panerai. He thinks the 8-day movement is great. Well, Michael, the 8-day movement is great. I'm not saying they're horrible movements. I just don't like the direction where the brand is going. That's all I'm saying about the in-house movements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we had a very interesting question. Ben Clearden, who's got the most famous mid-sized Cartier in all the Facebook groups, says, Fed, can you wear an El Primero during a workout the same way you can wear a Rolex during a workout? Well, firstly, let me just say, I don't think you should wear a Rolex during a workout.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you were to wear a mechanical watch during a workout, Rolex is super tough. Would I wear an El Primero, which is a chronograph, which means it's more expensive to service, it's more complicated, higher moving parts? Ben, honestly, I would not. I mean, you could, I'm sure, but I would not wear that in the gym.
I do things I go skiing a lot, being in the New England air region. So I ski a lot, and there are days where I ski with my GMT, and then there are days I ski with my G-Shock. It really just matters on what I'm feeling that day. But when we think about the history of somebody like Rolex and what the watches were originally set out to be and what they still are, even though the perception, the brand awareness, and has changed around them, they're tool watches. And how many times we got to say this? Like they're meant to be worked out and given a beating and stuff. But and I don't really know what time frame this changed. The 80s probably.
Wait until you get that repair bill, AJ.
I know. Somewhere, I think like in the 70s or 80s, the perception of Rolex going from a tool or utilitarian watch to a brand that is synonymous with status or a certain achievement in life changed. And with that, people obviously started treating the brand and treating the watches differently, I think. So,
by the way, we just got a great comment from Live with Clive here. Hey, Fed, can you give me more workout advice? You're a funny guy, Clive. You're a funny guy. But no, I'm not the workout guru. Watch Doctor donating $5. Wow, thank you so much. I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer
some workout advice. I'm sorry. I'll give some workout advice real quick. Stop vaping. That's what I'll start and end with.
Stop vaping. All right. Well, Watch Doctor says, Fed, I'm going to start throwing the bills, but do you think SIHH will overtake Basel in the coming years as the premier watch event? You know what, Watch Doctor? If it wasn't for Rolex, Basel World would have been half the show SIHH was this year. Give me shit for that, but if it wasn't for that Pepsi Basel World would have been nothing but super mediocre.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
Well, I think that's been the consensus.
Oh, AJ, you want to? Okay, so someone asked a question. I'm sorry, I forgot. This question happened a couple minutes ago. I forgot the name. He says, my AD says I'm number 25 on the list for a GMT Pepsi. How long is that going to be?
Years. I would imagine years, especially if you don't have a relationship with them.
No, but he says he's number 25. The best ADs in the world might get 5 a year, maybe. The first year, you're going to be on that waiting list for half a decade. Sorry to say, if you're number 25.
Yeah, I called my AD, my local AD, the day the Pepsi was released, and I bought my first Rolex ever through them, and they said they're not even taking lists. So that was very upsetting.
They're calling me a Delray watch, asking me to put them on the list. I'm like, I'm not even a Rolex AD. They're like, do it anyway.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, and actually, self-plug guys, go check out DelrayWatch.com. Got some awesome watches in stock. Brad Harris, Fed, you lean towards ADs, yet the rest of the universe leans towards grays. Fair statement? First of all, no, not a fair statement. Gray market, the rest of the world does not lean towards the gray market. I think the rest of the internet community does. The reason I lean towards ADs is because I used to sell the gray market. And I know the quality of shit I used to sell them working for Richemont, and I know they didn't service them when they sold them. And I know the big turds that companies like Joma Shop and Exquisite Timepieces have in stock. And you really don't want to deal with that, especially with the fact if you get a 30% discount in gray market, you can get something very similar to that discount if you have a decent AD relationship.
There was an interesting question that came up. Should I keep a Rolex Day-Date 2 as an investment?
No, in my opinion. But what do you think, AJ?
It depends on many factors. I don't know enough about the Day-Date 2, but yeah, no, you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't be collecting watches as an investment. You should be investing in the goddamn stock market as an investment for several reasons. I was talking to my brother today about investments in the stock market, and just there's no comparison. Have I owned some things that have gone up in value? Another great example, or one great example of that is this guy, the Hulk. I bought this probably around this time last year, and we've all seen what happened with the Hulk since then, and what continues to happen with it. But on the other side of that, as prices go up, but this is probably a good segue. Look at something like the ceramic Daytona and how absolutely nuts, and what I like to call asshole tax is being charged on top of the retail price. So
Yeah.
if you can get a hold of one from your AD, and you know that there's a ton of asshole tax on it right now, and then yeah, I guess that would be a good investment. But the chances of that are so slim. You'd be better off investing in the stock market.
And if you have to invest in Rolex, if you absolutely have to, the answer is very simple. Steal sports models. No Datejust, no day date, no gold. Steal sports models. That's the safest.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, but it's not like a quick buck kind of thing where, as I've said before, I've renounced my serial flipping. So everything I'm going to have, if I'm not just trading it, like even value trades or trading a little cash or whatnot, I don't really count that flipping. Flipping would to me is like trying to buy and then sell for a profit, make a quick buck, as opposed to trades. So maybe
it's not easy.
I'm giving myself a loophole there so I can continue trading too, by the way. So
what watch are you holding right there?
What? This is an Omega Rally strap.
The one you didn't want to include in our trade?
Yeah, because I'm gonna trade it with a good friend of mine whose house I'm going to Wednesday. He's gonna give me like an Everest strap for this because he's got a Speedy. So
when you told me like, oh, can I keep that strap? I should have been like, no.
But you didn't say no.
No takesy backsies.
Yeah, I think that's what I said.
Graham's ghost. Freddie, you look like you lost a few pounds lately. Graham, you need glasses. Let's see what else we got. We got Bobby K, the watch doctor. How you doing, Bobby? Nice to see you in the live stream.
Here's an interesting one that just came up. Hey, Fed, AJ, what's the better watch for a suit and tie daily wear? AP Royal Oak versus an AP Royal Oak Jumbo. Is that the 41 versus the 37?
I think it's 39 versus 41. I think that question is absolutely based on your wrist size.
A great question. For Novus Barma, what size is your wrist? Preferably in inches so we don't have to convert.
My wrist is just a tad under 8 inches.
What's the cutoff point for you?
I don't believe in absolutes. I think every watch has to be tried on, but generally for me, I won't go smaller than 40 unless I'm going vintage, then maybe 36, 37, but definitely like 36 is absolutely the smallest, and 40 plus is my preference.
Gotcha. 6.5 inches for our friend with the AP question. So 6.5 inch wrists. I'd go with the 39 over the 41 personally.
Yeah, 39, especially because the AP wears a little bigger.
But the case height's under 10 millimeters, right? So they're not that bad.
Oh, here's a great question. Watch Doctor says, and I know Watch Doctor and his collection real well, so I'm qualified to answer this. He wants to know FP Journe Chronomètre Bleu or AP 15400, that's Royal Oak blue dial. Bobby, forget that AP. You've got enough sports watches. Add a damn Chronomètre Bleu in your collection. You will not regret it.
I agree with you on that, and I'm not usually inclined to agree with you on that, but as somebody who was just recently last week looking at the 15400 for himself, and from the people I talked to and asked about it, and a lot of people said the bracelet's amazing, but overall you're probably not going to be happy with it. I'm a finicky person for how a bracelet fits.
So AP is not the best for that. You got to get those. An AP half link is like $400.
Ugh, God. Do they come with, like, if you get a 15400, do you get a half link with it?
I think if like you notice at like the AD, like they'll make it happen and they'll like make you happy. But I think if you call them back like 3 months later, it's tough cookies. I'm not sure about that though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we got over here. Oh, Pepsi or Batman, AJ? Pepsi or Batman?
I've owned both. We've talked about in other live streams I've done in the past, like what's your biggest watch regret? Head and Shoulders, because I've sold both a Batman and a Pepsi. I regret selling the Pepsi. I've had two Pepsi GMTs. I've sold them twice
So did I. Kill me.
before they skyrocketed. And I don't miss the Batman. I have a black ceramic GMT GMT Master 2 now, and it's the Batman, the blue and the black. It's such a subtle change for me on the bezel that I just don't really miss it.
Do you have a black ceramic GMT, you said?
I do.
You never wear that.
I do. I've had it for like a month now.
Sell it to
me. No, thank you.
Okay, do me a favor. When you do flip it, because you will, give me a call first.
Why are you not taking me seriously? I have renounced my serial flipping.
AJ, I have a better shot of like sleeping with Mila Kunis than you not flipping a watch in the next 3 months.
I just mentioned the loophole I gave myself with trades, but
give me a break.
I don't know. Oh, this is actually a really good question to pose to the audience. I actually want to hear their comments because this is happening right now. So I have a Polar Explorer 2, which I'll show to everybody. I got this guy right here. But Mr. Fetty Wap is getting me a 40mm version too. So somebody wants to trade me straight up a Milgauss Blue for this. And I'm torn. I put a poll in one of the Facebook groups today, and overwhelmingly the answer was keep the Polar, which I found very, very surprising. But I know the Milgauss is a harder sell for a lot of people. But yeah, it looks like from the comments coming in, I'm seeing Polar. For some reason, people don't really like the Milgauss.
I mean, I like the Milgauss better than the Polar, but I think the Polar is bigger appeal, like mass appeal.
I think for an everyday wearer type situation too, the Polar obviously works with more stuff. So.
Dude, you're getting shat on all over the comments. One guy says you look like Donald Trump in that hat. Clive says you have a ridiculous beard. Man, these YouTube guys are mean as hell.
Hate is the new love, my friend.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Bring it all in.
Does Trump wear? Oh, yeah, Trump wore the... Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. I almost asked a dumb question there, but I didn't. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say about the watches as an investment too is, and I've heard this before, maybe in one of your videos, Fed, but if you do want to have a watch as a long-term investment, one of the smart things that I think is a smart thing that people have advised to do is like buy the models right now that nobody seems to like. A good example right now is I've been looking at the Air King because they're just kind of dirt cheap right now, but who knows, 30, 40 years down the line when Papa needs a little bit of retirement cash, you never know. Could be
that if you take that philosophy and apply it to Rolex sports models, so Air King, Explorer, Explorer 2, Milgauss, all those, historically, it's 100% win rate. 100%.
Okay.
I mean, could I be wrong? Sure.
Yeah.
Live with Clive says, Fed, I have an email from Rolex Corporate that says sticker removal is mandatory. What do I think? Clive, I don't know who emailed you at Rolex. I think that's bullshit. Rolex cannot dictate terms of sale to an AD that is illegal against the anti-monopoly laws, which is why everybody has the same suggested retail price, but they are legally allowed to discount. So, I mean, unless a law changed, which is possible, I am no lawyer, but as far as I know and my 10 years experience in the watch industry, that definitely is not something Rolex can enforce or put in writing, or whoever emailed you will get in trouble for putting that in writing. Yeah, they can't force to remove stickers.
I have another random question for you that I've seen on Facebook. I've seen some sponsored posts for people that teach classes on flipping watches. Have you seen any of these ever before?
That's stupid. You know what the worst part is? Actually, should be politically correct. I have a friend who's very good friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
So like I hate everything he does and he stands for, and I want to tear him a new one in a video, but he's a friend of a friend, so I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I think watches are terrible investments, and anybody tells you otherwise is lying.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants you to buy his class.
Yeah, I know. I wonder what the secret sauce could potentially
There is no secret sauce. Listen, I'm a dealer, full-time dealer. My job, as Steve Bowden says, is to buy low and sell high. And it's honestly, it's not that easy. Like, it just isn't that easy. You can only do it with a ton of inventory. Like, the only way to make any money selling watches is with a ton of inventory.
Yeah.
That's the only way, like, you'll come out ahead in the long term.
Gonna spend money to make money, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, just like, but there's been a lot of these what do you think of Watch Gang? Do you know what Watch Gang is?
Yeah. I think I don't know what their subscription run rate is and what their attrition is month to month, but seems like a good model for them. I don't know. I'd obviously have to see the balance sheet, see how things are panning out.
They're making a ton of money, but what do you think of the fact that like when they say like, oh, for $49, I don't know the prices, don't quote me here, but when they say something like, oh, for $49 a month, get a $500 watch mailed to your house, but like that retail price is like quoting Invicta's retail price.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the Shop NBC Invicta retail prices. It used to be like $2,500 watch, but now it's like on 5 easy payments of $16 or something.
Yeah, it's like it's complete bullshit.
Yeah. I didn't know you wanted to tear them down, but okay, we can go there then.
So. Well, I don't want to. I just one of those things I saw. You know. Oh, great question. Fresh Ramses, long-time viewer. Hey, Fed, do you like women? Yeah, I like women almost as much as I like FP Journe. Actually, no, I like women more than FP Journe.
Okay, those are words. Those are some strong words right there.
You know, got to keep up the YouTube facade.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Let's see here. Watch Doctor, watch investments are like weather predictions. Yeah, pretty much. Clive, don't be a smartass. When I said FP Journe, I meant the watches. He's like, FP Journe is a dude. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
It's an ambiguous name. You're not sure. You're not.
All right, well, AJ, let me ask you this. Forget Rolex exists, okay? Because we all know you're a Rolex guy. Rolex is out of business through magic.
Yeah.
Pick one brand and only one brand to build your entire collection around. What would it be? Go.
Jesus Christ. Pass.
No watches ever again.
That's really, really difficult.
Mito.
Okay. This is not going to be a popular answer because I hate the brand now myself just from bad investments with it, but probably IWC.
Okay, buddy. I love it.
Can I explain my answer?
Please do, and then I'm going to explain your answer for you.
Okay. I feel like I've seen IWCs I can get for a couple grand, and then I've seen IWCs I can get for a couple $100,000. So I feel like in terms of styles, functionality, they really do run the gamut. Unfortunately, from an investment standpoint, they have time and time again been horrible decisions for me.
But can I explain why they did horrible for you? Considering I'm also one of the guys that like sold you one.
Mm-hmm.
You invested in the second most heavily disliked IWC collection of all time.
I don't know why that's
which is the Ingenieur. Like the only way you could have done worse is to buy Da Vinci's.
Mm.
You know, so I don't think IWC is so bad. I just think Ingenieurs are tough, and I own one. I mean, mine doesn't count.
I just like the shitters, apparently. So you know,
like the shitters.
Mm. Oh well.
Listen, at least you don't own a Squalor.
That's true. That's true.
Guys, ooh, Captain Zed says he's wearing an FP Jordan right now. Zed, thought you were dead. To quote Pulp Fiction.
Zed?
No, but Zed, what FP Jordan are you wearing? I'm curious.
Zed's dead. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Let's see what else.
Someone asked because I want to know, so I'm going to selfishly ask it, and somebody did ask it. What you do think of the Zenith Defy 21?
Honestly, I haven't studied it enough yet. But what's there not to like? Zenith is like one of the most underappreciated brands out there. The watch looks killer. The only thing that seriously concerns me is servicing, because you cannot give that to Hansi to service.
Really? Because it's got the two individual movements, one for the chrono.
Well, doesn't it also have that weird oscillator thing? Like, it doesn't use an escapement. It uses like that weird vibration thing.
I'd have to double check on that, but I don't know.
If it's a normal case, so once again, I haven't paid attention too much to Baselworld, but I know Zenith did come out with basically like a mechanical tuning fork concept. If it is one of those,
I don't think
that has to go to Zenith. If it's just two movements and they're like regulated by escapement, no big deal. It's just double the price.
Yeah, I'd actually like to change my answer from IWC to Zenith now, please. Thank you.
IWC to Zenith, lock in your answer. So, so you're gonna start like collecting like, what's the shittiest like Zenith collection? You're gonna start collecting like Zenith Elites,
like the Rainbow series or something like that. No, we're not gonna go there. But I do that's a great like kind of segue. The next big purchase on the horizon for me is that Zenith Defy 21. So
for sure. Ooh, let me see here. Is there an Asian MILF selection for this feed? I don't know, AJ. Is there an Asian MILF?
Can you let me know if there is?
I don't know. www.pornhub.com. Sponsor me.
Boom.
Railmaster versus GMT Master. Is it bad that my Omega gets much more wrist time? Fresh Ramses, I mean, I think the GMT Master is a much cooler watch. But if you like the Railmaster, then you do you, buddy.
That doesn't seem to be a very popular model for them for some reason.
Nah,
I like it though. Huh.
Let me see. Game Podify. Why is it when a 5K watch like a Breitling has a 7750 movement, people say it's a good value for money, but when a Victorinox game, first of all, a couple things. Like the answer to this is very, 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 very long. But the 7750 in a Victorinox is not the same 7750 as in a Breitling. In fact, it's like apples and oranges completely. But more so, there's no Breitling like at 5K that's a good value with a 7750. I think used most 7750 Breitlings are probably around the 2K price point. But also a watch is much more than the movement, right, AJ? I mean, you got to say something about case, finishing, dial, strap, and all that stuff.
And even when, if you want to go into like the romanticism of it in terms of the craftsmanship around, how many people put their hands on that watch, and was it hand finished, hand assembled, were the pieces hand cut, hand polish, all that kind of stuff. Like there's a premium that people do pay for that the same way they pay for art or other things that time and effort go into. People who appreciate that will pay for that.
Oh, for sure. By the way, AJ, just noticed we're running 49 minutes in. I don't mean to be abrupt, but I got some stuff to do before work tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, buddy.
No worries, brother. Anytime. Let me know. I'm here to talk.
And I'll let you know if your Speedy passes inspection tomorrow. We might have some post-negotiation haggling.
Oh, man. You can just send it back if you're going to go that route with me, man.
Dude, you never know. I might drop it by mistake. Might find a couple problems. I'll let you know.
Exactly. All right. Keep me posted, brother.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me in another live stream. We had close to 300 concurrent viewers on this one, so thank you so much. And guys, I'm thinking of doing this couple times a month. If you enjoy it, if you want me to continue doing it, if you want to suggest some formats, please leave a comment on this video. It would be greatly appreciated. And I'm sure this is not the last time you guys are going to be seeing AJ. Guys, thank you so much. AJ, I'll let you say any closing statements that you may want to say.
I said this the last time that we shot a video together in Miami, so I'll say it again. Fed, you're a celebrity, and I'm honored to just be on your YouTube channel with you, and I'm honored to call you my friend. So thank you for having me.
AJ, as much as I love you, don't stroke my ego. I'm not giving you a discount.
I was setting up for tomorrow. Damn it.
Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.